Hey guys, Armando here with DLC Model Builders, and this is a new build. I am going to build the crouching vinyl 1/6 scale Spider-Man. This is a recast of, I'm assuming, the Horizon Models original, and the quality is pretty darn good. As usual, like any vinyl kit, it has a lot of flash, but that stuff usually comes off easily once you warm it up with a heat gun. So I'm going to work on putting this thing together, maybe getting it all together tonight, and then I'll plan the coloring, the painting, which is what really makes this kit. Obviously you got to nail those colors just right. Spider needs to have the correct red and the correct blue. So anyway, that's the project. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, Armando back. I'm working on the Spider-Man. As you can see, I've got a portion of him assembled already, and I thought I'd show you how I trimmed this flash. I've already warmed it up with the heat gun, which makes it really soft, and I just start with some scissors basically, and I just snip away right around the edge. Then you can use an X-Acto knife, or I'm using a blade which is sharp and makes it easy for me anyway. And you need to make this as flush as possible. Cut some of these edges off. So that the part goes flush against the other part without too much difficulty. You'll find that these kits never fit perfectly, but when you warm them up with a heat gun or hot water, they become a lot more pliable and a lot more easy to fit together. Now, one thing, when you're gluing them together with a CA glue, make sure you're ready, because once these two things bond together, the CA just sticks them within seconds, and there's no moving it after that. One thing about these kits, you know, the CA glue really works well with them and binds them amazingly well, but it's very fast, so you have to move quick. So this part goes here. Something like this. As you can see, the fit isn't perfect. I'm going to have to warp it and play with it, maybe shave a little bit more of the edges until I get it stuck. Yeah, that's looking more and more like it's supposed to. Okay, so you can see there's seams back there, which I'll probably have to work on. Seams in vinyl are kind of tricky. Putty isn't always the best thing to use, but we'll see what we can do. Try and make them as smooth as possible, because this is supposed to be a skin tight suit. There's not supposed to be any seams back here, but we shall see. Okay, I'll show you when I have it completed. Alright, there he is, all assembled, and all in all, looks pretty good. As with all these kits, there are some fit issues and some seam issues that will have to be dealt with. Every one of these kits is a learning experience. You can see some of them right here. There, obviously the seams I talked to you about earlier. There's issues with fit here. issues with fit. This one came out pretty good actually. Here's some mild, almost nothing, and some here. Some of these I'll deal with by filing, others by filling. The seams are not very big. They're basically thin seams that need to be hidden. So all in all, the fit's pretty good. The casting was good on this kit. I would imagine the original from Horizon was a little better. I do have the original Green Goblin. That one is from Horizon. I got a good price on it with the box that looks like a comic book. That one's pretty cool. I'll probably assemble him after I do this guy so that he can have an adversary. But it was harder to find this guy, the original Horizon. Everything I found was recast, so I went ahead and got him. Here's another issue right there. See, little overlaps and things. The way you try and combat that is by warming up both sides and then, you know, pressing them together like bread, I guess, sort of like dough, until they're finally on, and then get some glue on it fast, and then press them together and you know, try and hold them together for a few seconds while they bond, and literally within 5 to 10 seconds the things are stuck together. I just finished this guy, and this thing is on there to stay. Of course, you get a lot of the CA glue on your hands, so I recommend you get one of those CA glue thinners. I have a couple bottles in there because otherwise this stuff will be on here for a week and you won't be able to feel anything. But anyway, I've assembled them, and now comes the fun part and the challenging part, which will be the painting. I'll have to do some research to get the tones just right, but it's a nice quick build. I really like that pose. Okay, talk to you soon. Alright, I'm back with an update on the Spider-Man, and as you can see, I've gotten quite a lot done. Let me tell you what I've done so far. I got rid of those seams for the most part back there, and I primered and puttied and sanded and puttied and sanded and primered and puttied and sanded some more until I got the surfaces smooth, and then I masked. That's most of what I've been doing tonight. I masked off all the red parts and just left the parts that are to be blue, and that's what I'm painting right now. As you can see, I did some pre-shading with black first. You can see it there. You still see it over there. And for the blue, I simply took some of my Spiderman dark blue and I added drops of white until I reached the shade that I thought was closest to what I thought it should be. And that's where I'm at. And I think that's pretty close to what I wanted. So I am presently painting, and we'll show you guys when I'm finished with the blue part. See you later. Okay, so here he is after painting. Great blue tone. It's perfect. I love it. The pre-shading gives a hint of what I need. However, the seams are still discernible, and that just won't do. So I'm gonna resand and use some spot putty and sand some more and get this thing very, very smooth, and then repaint, and we'll see what happens. But I love the blue. It's perfect. It's just what I visualized. So I'll talk to you soon. Alright, so after multiple rounds of sanding and putting and sanding and putting, this is the result. I've repainted, and I have to say it's vastly improved from before. One of the keys was, number one, I tried the spot putty, but it was too thin. Tried it once and it just didn't get rid of it. I went back to the thicker putty, the Squadron, and I kept sanding and getting the seam back. but what I was doing was sanding in this direction, the direction of the seam. So what I did was I switched my direction this way so that I would stay on the edges rather than dig the seam again, and that worked like a charm. I used a combination of 220, 320, and 600. And I found that the best way to do it was get the thick stuff off either with a 220 or the 320, and then polish with the 600 to give it a nice smooth look. And boy, it worked. I mean, you can't really tell that there was anything there anymore. For the most part, I mean, I'm very pleased. And once again, I love this blue. I think it's perfect. In fact, when my Superman comes in, I will use this, but a little lighter, because Superman's blue is lighter than Spider-Man's. I'll lighten it up some more, and hopefully nail it on the head again. But this, I'm pleased with it. So I'll wait now for it to dry and remove the masks, and then reverse the masking, carefully applying it on the paint so I don't pull any of it off. After I get the red parts painted, the spider on the back is red, spider on the chest is actually black, it's a smaller spider. Then I will work on either the pinstripes or the face. The face basically is the eyes. The edges are black and the inside is white. But I'm not going to make it bright white. I'm probably going to make it a little off-white. And the pinstripes will be some sort of a wash, I'm sure, like a thinned out version of the black, so I can put it along the pinstripes. But all in all, it's coming out great. I'm very pleased with the way the seams have come down. I worked really hard on the ones in the arms too. You'll get to see them when I remove it, and when I remove the masking. And I'm hoping that the result is good. Anyway, talk to you later. Alright, so here he is after removal of the masks and the first stage of the painting, the blue parts. And it looks great. Masking did what it was supposed to do. And the lines are nice and straight. So I'll just give it a little while to cure and set and dry before I attempt to mask anything, although this Spies Hecker paint dries so quickly. Probably a little later on tonight I'll begin the masking in the other direction, and I'll paint the red parts. That's next. A lot of tedious masking, but it's worth it. Okay, talk to you soon. Okay, back to Spidey. I've gotten quite a bit done, as you can see. Let me go through what I've done. I painted all the red parts using the Spies red with just a drop of black to dull it out just a tad so it wouldn't be so neon-like. That's a trick I learned from Boyd, who's an expert with mixing paints. He's been doing it for years in his business, so I always take his advice on that, and boy, I tell you, the red nailed it. So that's what I did. Then I went ahead and masked off the eyes, painted the edges with black Spies, and the eyes with white with just a couple of drops of silver to add a little pearlescence to it. I don't know if you can see it. It's extremely subtle, but I think it nails him as far as the appearance. He looks like he's just jumped right out of the comic. Now I'm working on the webbing, and for this I went over several different options in my head. Initially I thought I'd do a wash, but I was afraid that the wash would spill over to the red or to the blue and stain it all. And then I looked at the build that I've been using as guidance. This is a build by, let me see here. It's the Horizon kit, but this is a recast of the Horizon, so it's the same kit basically. And he goes through what he does, and for the webbing, what he actually did was he used a 0.35 millimeter pen and black India ink. I thought that was an interesting suggestion, and it would certainly give me more accuracy. This is the website in case you guys are interested. I went to Walmart and I tried to find some painter's pens. I couldn't find the size he had. This smallest one here is 0.75. I tried that, and it works to some degree using India ink, but it's a little cumbersome because the nibs don't always paint. So I'd also bought some painter's markers, including these Prismacolor Premier markers, and I have found that the black one, this is a fine tip, they call it the B. In fact, I'd gotten something else and I think I left it in the cart or didn't pay for it, didn't get it, I don't know, but I tried this anyway and it's working just great. Here's a tip. It's thin enough. I started with the feet to make sure that it looked good and it gave me the effect I wanted. Once it dries, it becomes permanent. While I'm applying it, if I get out of the lines, I can actually just go like that with my finger and take it right off, and it won't take off what's in the line because that's indented, so it removes the outside, leaving the line, so it's ideal actually, and it looks damn nice. It's a permanent marker, it's an artist marker. It says here that it's acid fast, light fast, and archival quality, which I take to mean that it's pretty long lasting. Water resistant, premium pigmented ink, no bleed through, smear resistant when dry, archival quality. Since this guy is going to be indoors, he's not going to be exposed to the sun. I'm not worried that it's going to fade. I am going to seal him with some sealant, probably Krylon satin, so this stuff will become permanent after a while. And actually, a couple hours ago is when I did the feet, and they're already dry, and it gives me a level of accuracy that I would not have accomplished with a wash or with a paintbrush. So I'm very pleased so far. I've done both feet, and I am working on the right arm and shoulder at this point. And I think I'll get done tonight. If I do, I will seal him and call this guy done. So Spidey's coming right along, and he's looking like he jumped right out of a Marvel comic book page. Anyway, talk to you later. Okay, my 1/6 scale vinyl Spidey is done, and appropriately I have placed him at the feet of a very pissed off Hulk, who was looking at him with an annoyed expression. So I went ahead and completed the webbing, and I gave it 2 coats of the Krylon satin to give him a sort of a shiny look, but not overly glossy. And let me take him under the light here so you can see him better. Looks like he belongs in the comics. And in fact, appropriately, I have him right here. So Actually, that looks like a pretty close pose. I had a minor annoyance here when I inspected him today. After I gave my second coat, I saw some more of the seam again. It resurfaced after all the work I put into it. I'm not sure what happened. If there was some contraction because of temperature. It really hasn't been that cold here. This is South Florida after all. I did drop them, but the drop wasn't very high. It was just a couple of feet, and I don't think that caused any damage, so I'm not really sure what happened. And I briefly considered sanding and going through the whole thing again, but you know what? It's noticeable only under certain angles, and he just looks so damn good otherwise that I didn't want to mess with him, so I'll just call him done and go on to my next model. All in all, I think he came out great, and he's my third superhero. I've got Iron Man over there, which you guys have seen, and I got the Hulk, and now Spidey. So next up, I think I'll do Superman or Batman. Those are all my favorites, as you can see from my collage there. So he definitely had to be done. I had to have a Spidey. He's one of my favorite comics. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the build, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them. Thanks for watching.